And we should be live. Let me go ahead and check. Since we're live, but are we actually live? Not quite showing it yet, but...
Yep, we're live.
Alright, so I've got an ad playing, and I'm going to take his word that we are, in fact, live. Awesome. Alright, hello everyone, Ace here. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest Nico40K.
Always a pleasure, Ace.
Pleasure to have you on. And today we are back with some more Star Wars The High Republic, Fear of the Jedi.
The most appropriate name.
Oh, yeah. So, written by the ever-prevalent Cavan Scott.
Oh, this is going to be a jam, isn't it? This is going to be a...
Also, I love how they're celebrating Star Wars Marvel 10 years for Disney. So this is 10 years of Disney Star Wars. Hooray. Yeah, no.
10 years. Dude, I don't know if you saw, but there was a Star Wars comic YouTuber who basically just said, I quit. It's just, that's how bad the freaking comics are. It's like, you're going to celebrate 10 years of that. Wonderful.
Was that Eckhart's Ladder? It'd be really funny if it was.
I don't think it, no, I think it was just a guy literally called a Star Wars Comics.
So, let's go ahead and get into this one. The High Republic, Fear of the Jedi, Chapter 3, Blockade over Eriadu. The storm wall has fallen. The Nihil Occlusion Zone is once again within the Republic's grasp. During a mission to liberate Naboo from the planet's occupying force, Jedi Marshal Keeve Trennis and her Stormwall Defense Fleet pick up a message from Nihil military leader General Vyse. All Nihil ships are ordered to report to the Eriadu system, where the final battle between the Nihil and the Republic is expected. Placing Naboo under the protection of Jedi Master Kelnaka, Keeve orders the fleet to move to Eriadu. Lorna D and the Tempest Breakers offer their assistance, even though a member of her crew, Tay Sarek, has problems of his own.
Man, Naboo just can never catch a break, can they?
I mean, the one thing that they were potentially catching a break on led directly to the Trade Federation blockade. So, yeah, they really can't catch a break. And they really got screwed over once Emperor Palpatine took over.
Oh, yeah.
Which is ironic when you think about it, but... But yeah, one of the first things he does is orders the 501st to assassinate the Queen of Naboo, so, you know. Paul Schlock says, I fear what I'm about to witness. Indeed. Let's see how many people had to read the plot of this comic before it became publicly available.
Let's do it.
So we've got Cavan Scott, the writer, Ariana Maher, the letterer, so that's 2 people there. Then we've got Danny Kazim, Andrew Baumgartner, 3 and 4 for editors. Mark Panacea, and senior editors, so that is 5 people. C.B. Sobolski, editor-in-chief, so that's 6 people. A senior editor, and Robert Simpson, so that's 7. An associate editor, Grace Orris, so that's 8. And then we have the Lucasfilm Story Group with Matt Martin, Pablo Hidalgo, and Emily Shukukani. So 9, 10, 11. So 11 people had to read the plot of this comic. At bare minimum.
Oof, man, it must be a doozy. They must have quite the... I can't even keep on the bit.
You know this is going to be one of the most slickest edited comics of all time. With those numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Admiral Cornara. Another wave of Nihil stormships has dropped into the planet's atmosphere. The Republic's Defense Coalition forces are nearing overwhelm. That doesn't...
What?
They could have... Nearing overwhelm.
Okay.
11 people had to read the plot of this comic and make sure that the grammar was at least functionable.
Oh. Folks, read the dialogue up loud. It just helps.
Yeah. Republic Cruiser... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You were going to read that.
Republic Cruiser, the Third Horizon over Eriadu.
Tell me something I don't know, Meller. Is there word from Coruscant?
No, sir. Suspect the Nihil dampener. Okay, so maybe they just gave him really weird dialogue for character development or something.
Ugh.
No, sir. Suspect the Nihil dampener field is blocking comms.
What?
Admiral, are you injured?
I'm fine, Major Becky-Tet. But I doubt we'll survive another strike like that. We need those reinforcements, and we need them now.
Admiral, multiple signals coming out of hyperspace above the planet.
Preserve us. Mohai Peak, nor Nihil?
I would hope not.
Marshal Trennis? Is that you?
Also, this artwork is already off to a flying start with some of these faces. Like, the dude's face is a little,
You know the one in the bartender scene in A New Hope? Mm-hmm. That is what it reminds me of. It's like the ancestor of that guy. Who knows? Man,
yep. Siegeworks says, hello, everyone. Hello, Siege.
Hello.
The Stormwall Defense Fleet reporting for duty, Admiral. How can we be of assistance? No. What now?
Okay, the character that I'm about to read here, tell me that does not look like JD Vance, like a meme image.
Oh my god! It does a little bit.
Oh my god. Okay. Kiev? Hang on, let me zoom in a little bit. Kiev? General Weiss has ordered every Nihil rust bucket in the zone to attack Eriadu.
We heard, that's why we're here.
And Naboo?
Secure, more or less. Master Kelnaka is helping the insurgents. We left as soon as we intercepted...
Eve? What is it?
More Nihil coming in fast. Also her face, too. Holy shit, that middle panel.
Oh my god.
And now that I'm thinking about it, look at the turret design on this cruiser, the gun turrets.
No.
That is not how you design gun turrets.
That is it. It's like if somebody took like a cardboard to like like a trash bin like lid. That's what it looks like.
The gun is also offset to a hilarious degree.
Mm-hmm. Oh gee, and honestly, this is also the end part of it as well. I don't know. There's something about the rear that just throws me off completely.
Yeah, same here. Nathaniel Walker says, right. Geode is the best character brought to us by the High Republic. Yeah. Sweet says, hello, everyone. Solon Lich says, good evening, bigots.
Oh, well, hello, my fellow bigot.
Creek says, oh, hey, I'm not massively late. What have I missed so far? What the hell? Okay.
No, we just started.
Yeah, Akaleo says, you missed the grammar errors. I fear not what I'm about to witness. I am shielded by the armor of contempt. That's the spirit.
That's how we get it.
Lieutenant Miller? Nothing on long-range scans, Major.
I doubt the Jedi are relying on senses. What is the Force telling you, Marshal? That the enemy will soon be upon us. More than we've ever seen.
Yes, thank you, Sababa. Let's keep the doom-mongering to a minimum, shall we? Suggestions.
Doom-mongering?
Yeah, you know, doom-mongering, as in when we estimate that we're going to have a lot of ships because we're going to have a lot of ships.
Is the reference meant to be like, you know how some people like doom scroll like on their phones? It's like, but negative news, nothing, all that. It's like, but this is not the same. We're in a situation here. What the fuck?
Yeah, this isn't the mainstream media giving you fake news that's meant to demoralize you 24/7. This is the Jedi Order sensing that a massive fleet is about to drop out of hyperspace right on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
And is immediately going to be their problem.
Let's see.
We're a defense fleet. I suggest we live up to our name and form a blockade around the planet.
One might Oh, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. It's your character.
One might almost say a storm wall. Get the fuck out of here, Skier.
What was even the point of the storm wall? Also, what is her face?
Yep.
Fuck.
His face isn't much better if you look in Skier.
No, not even close. But like, guys, literally, right? You have the one above, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks meh, right? But whatever. But then then below it, it's a different face entirely. Are they relying on random face generation or AI?
It could be.
Could
AI
also be AI
at this point.
Like freaking hell, you would think, yeah, because if you have the same artists, it's like you would expect some consistency. Fuck. A capital idea. Hold the line, Marshal. We'll be depending on you.
We'll do our best, Commander.
And ships, this is the Gaios. Protect Area D at all costs. No one gets through. From the largest storm cruiser to a solitary starfighter. For the people of Eriadu. For the Republic!
You know, spreading your defenses out over the entire planet, or at least over a couple of cities, is probably not the best course of action. Because it spreads out your defenses and weakens them, meaning that the enemy can always focus on one area and punch right through.
Mm-hmm. Also, some of these ship designs. What is the one? The one that. What is this genuinely feels like they just took random shapes and tried to make that into a ship. The one in the middle, the one that just has like two holes with it. What is that?
I don't know.
That that looked so wrong. And no, okay, I gotta stop because I see that one of them, the one right next to it, it looks like a floppy disk with wings.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks copy-pasted, like, on the upper left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright, fine. The fleet have moved into position, Marshal. Standard blockade formation.
Excellent. Velko, you have the flight deck. Jedi Yellowlock, meet us in the hangar bay 2.
Oh no, not again! Your place is here, Marshal, on the Gaios!
Velko, I can't ask anyone to put their life in danger if I'm not willing to join them.
You can, and you will, Keeve! Avar Chris made you Marshal of this fleet for a reason. To be a light, a beacon for those ready to sacrifice everything for the greater good.
I'm going to fucking puke at this terrible ass dialogue. Who the hell would say that like unironically? It's like It's like to be a light, a beacon for those ready. It's like okay, it's one thing. If you want the character to be like that. Like if you type that on paper, but then you also want to make it a thing for people. It's like you don't say it out loud. What is? This is so wrong.
I'm reminded. Compare this, if you will, to the president from Independence Day,
Hmm.
who leads the fighter plane, since he's a fighter pilot, out to battle the aliens in that film.
Mm-hmm.
The complete polar opposite. Turns out you can dodge lasers and lead from the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least if you're there as part of the actual, as part of the actual fleet.
You know what's sad, though? I've not actually seen Independence Day. I know that scene. I am aware of what you're talking about. But, man, I need to see that movie. All right.
You can't do that if you're out there dodging lasers. You belong here on the flight deck in command. Marshal.
Skier, lead the fighters. Of course, Marshal. The Force will be with you. It better be. Vector and Skywings away! Move, Zig, for great justice. And just in time, it appears. The General's reinforcements have arrived.
Okay. A space scarab. I get... those ship designs again. Oh, that's an atrocity. Wait a minute. What the hell is this freaking flyfish lookalike on the freaking upper left? What is... And then there's... No. Are you kidding me? One of them literally just looks like a freaking... like a toaster with wings. What? No. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts the longer I look at it. Oh. Okay, I gotta stop. This is gonna hurt.
You can say that again. Never seen so many.
They are desperate, Commander. They sense the end is nigh.
But for whom, Master? Master? Oh, what is it?
Orbelin, please don't tell me.
He's divided himself again, Marshal. Several times over.
A fascinating experiment, Jedi Yellock. Although I must admit that the process may, be interfering with my reflexes.
Come.
Pew, 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 pew.
Orbelin?
It appears that one of my brothers returned to the Force.
That wasn't a brother, Orbelin. It was part of you.
We have to recall him, Keith. He's a liability in that condition.
I will do better, Commander. As soon as I've lost a night heel who has locked onto my ion trail.
Skier? I'll never get to him on time. All wings, this is Drift, Commander. Master Orbelin requires immediate assistance.
Got you in my sights, Jay. No escape, no.
Please respond. For Void's sake, Skier, I thought you saber... Oh, that's supposed to be your character.
Oh, yeah.
For Void's sake, Skier, I thought you saber twirlers were supposed to be calm. So much for serenity.
Wait, I knew that voice. That's...
Oh, that's my character. Never mind. Quinn, what have I said about blasting the scumsuckers before they can scream my name?
Sorry, Lorna.
I'll forgive you. Just this once.
Oh, you've changed.
Blame the
What?
Jedi.
Are they really committing to the frigging change of this frigging genocidal... Okay. Okay, sure. I think your character's next.
Yep. Did you hear that, Archivist? You're a bad influence.
I've never been prouder, Tempest Breaker. Or more grateful for your timing.
Can they hear themselves? Someone died. What was... Wait a second. You mean to tell me they're bitching now about people dying? You know, the same High Republic Jedi that have deliberately put planets into peril?
Mm-hmm. What rights do they have?
What was that, Marshal? Reminder that we should keep fatalities to a minimum. We're fighting for the light. This is a battle, you dumb bitch.
Oh, fighting for the light. Oh. Can you imagine any, like, real... Okay, imagine this, right? You're in a real-world situation, right? You're in a war. You're in a combat area. And somebody actually, unironically, says these faux, like, inspirational, like, quotes to you. It's like, we're fighting for the light, for the service in the middle of battle. It's like, would you... How retarded would you think that person would be?
Very. So, you know, make them in put them in command of the fleet, because that's a good idea.
Yeah, please do.
Light shines, says Paul Schlott. Yep. Let's get the pain over with as quickly as possible, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting for our lives, Gios. Deaths are inevitable. Does it mean I have to like it? Lorna,
Wait.
Nihil...
Sorry. Deaths are inevitable. Wouldn't you say death is inevitable instead of deaths are? That sounds so wrong.
11 editors, ladies and gentlemen.
11. Also, what is... Oh my god. No. Blow up doll.
Yeah, I see it. Does it mean I have to like it? Lorna, Nihil Cloud Cruiser on your port bow. Take evasive action now.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. Mistress Lorna, we've lost our port thruster.
Damn it.
Let me deal with that, Marauder. Miss D. One good turn deserves another, after all. Nihil engines neutralized.
Much appreciated, Archivist. Although I'd much prefer the gas gulper was breathing vacuum right now. Sarek, I need you to check that thruster. Sarek? Where is that old goat? Scoot, go find your master, will you? Woot, woot. And tell him to pull his head out of his backside.
What the? Would it hurt to knock once in a while? It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's none of your business.
Woot, woot.
Get off. Get off that, Scoot. Don't look at me like that. You don't understand. I need to fix it, man. You have no idea what it's been like. How could you? Ever since the hand of Sephuris was destroyed, I never felt anything like it. Never felt so alone.
Oh yeah, this guy could totally handle this Sith artifact without consequences.
Totally handle it. Oh.
Don't be so ridiculous.
The Vildar?
I mean it, you dumb old Grak. What am I going to do without you?
Get in trouble. Same as always.
Oh, this is him. Okay. Says you, the guy who told the Jedi Council where to stuff it. And all for love. Who would have thought it, eh? Vildar Mac, the ultimate romantic. Vil? Night, my love. Sleep well.
Hey? Hey? Oh no!
Sorry, Maddie. You're too late. He's already gone.
Stop. Just stop it. It's not fair. Not bloody fair. How old is this guy?
Well over a century.
And he's acting like a freaking petulant child. That's adorable. Adorable. Scoot. Scoot. I'm sorry. You want to voice him or?
Didn't mean it, Tay. Like when you lied to me. Promised you would change. On my deathbed, Tay. After everything I've sacrificed.
Oh, and once again, now we have an elderly freaking JD Vance. I can't help it. It's just too funny.
No! I didn't. That didn't happen.
Damn right it didn't. Damn right it didn't. You couldn't help yourself, could you? The minute I breathed my last, you stole the hand of Cerberus all over again. Ran away again. I was right about you from the beginning. Once a thief, always a thief, always a liar.
No, Wilder, you're dead. You can't be doing this. You can't be here.
Something's wrong.
Eve?
Waves of fear spreading out from Lorna's ship. No, not from the Tempest Breaker, from everywhere.
Rai. They're coming to take us away.
Not helpful, Sababa. Besides, even if it were the Nameless, we wouldn't be able to feel them here. Not unless they were on the ship.
Definitely not on the ship.
By all that is luminous.
Keith, don't look. Don't look at them.
Look at what? Oh, that's bad. That's very bad. They fly now.
Yeah.
With wings. In space.
In space. And we're reducing to ripping off Lovecraft. That's yeah. Star Wars, everybody. This is how far we've gotten.
See,
On the one hand, the only thing positive I'll say is that, design-wise, I actually kind of like. I actually kind of like them. They look cool, but like again, you're in space. You have these eldritch abominations. It's like, is this really what Star Wars should be covering? I don't know.
yeah. So the finale apparently is going to be in July, so we have that to look forward to for it to finally be over.
Wonderful.
One comment. They fly now, that's new and terrifying. Well, it's dumb. Because you can't flap your wings in space and expect you to go places like that. This isn't even that's not how the Force works. This is that's not how space works.
That's not how physics. Just and overall, just this. It has been pain all around. The ship designs are an absolute eyesore. And we're now reduced, and now we're just going into full-on Lovecraftian horror because I don't think. What do they even have left at this point?
I don't know, and well, obviously not a whole lot because we're nearing the end.
Mm-hmm. So, what are your thoughts on it?
It is terrible. Is it as bad as most things High Republic? I was going to say no, but having flying, nameless, flapping their wings in space is pretty high up there.
I don't even know what else I can really say.
Let me read some of the comments here.
Yeah.
Someone Lich says they jammed an urban mech on each wingtip about the turrets. Yes, the one design where it actually does make sense to place the gun off to the side of the turret. Creek says urban mechs have more guns. They do. Not a whole lot, but they do.
Also, urban mechs are more freaking useful than most of these freaking ships, I would imagine.
Heck, they probably move faster.
Hell, if they could fly, no, they would actually. Nah, alright.
Paul Schlock says the Force be snitching, yo. Ace says
You in the room.
Creek says Ace and Company. Have you seen Andor season 2? If so, thoughts? I have not seen it yet, but I have heard good things about it. Once you get past the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I heard that the first act is rocky, but it then picks up later on. And I do need to finish. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of Andor. It's pretty good stuff. It's just that it's a bit of a slow boil, and I need to work myself up to slow boil stuff.
Seed says she seems to have a very angry expression for a Jedi using modern vernacular for flexing. Yeah. Kaleo says, "Oh boy." Yep. Paul Schluck says, "Build that Stormwall." Siege says, "Stormwall." Creek says, "That sounds like a bad joke I would make. Why are those faces so smooth? Why do they look so bad?" It's a good question. Siege says, "So what does the supposed Stormwall look like? You know, the one that fell for reasons." Good question. Well, it had the Storm Siege, which were these small things that I guess just made it so you couldn't travel through.
Yeah, not that it really matters, because freaking hell, if the Jedi were able to travel through it for a freaking space wedding. Ugh.
Goof says Star Wars ships by Temu. Akelo is laughing. It does look like floppy. Siege says, "This is why the Empire would put their fleets close in the hyperspace lanes to assist them to intercept incoming vessels from either planet or hyperspace." Yes. Paul Schlock says the greater good. Goof says, "Captain, insert into the floppy drive ship." Wait, the tower here. Yeah, that too, now you mention it. Siege says, be a firelighter that starts the bright South African barbecue. Paul Schluck says, maybe. Krieg says, doesn't matter, Aragorn. She could head into the space battle in a fucking Eva suit and still would not only be fine, but take out at least 2 warships in the process. Solomon says, small lasers in case the ship gets boarded by infantrymen. Patea says, if you're going to do fleet combat, use style map for dimension purpose. Winter's King says, I come back to you now at the turning of the tide. Akello says, those ships look stupid as fuck. Siege says, that looks like a tick. Goof says, what am I looking at? Mateus Felipe says, it's the Princess of Mars glider. Greek says, here, ladies and gentlemen, we can hear a good man's mind breaking. Solomon says, Space Cab, a sloppy attempt at rivaling the power of the Coom Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Schluck says, I feel like the High Republic introduced blobs and literal rocks as characters. Or I liked it. Yeah. Winter's King says, everything Biden Puppet Masters did is now potentially at risk of being overturned in light of his terminal illness having been covered up and his mind being not there. Let justice be done. Miguel says, corny. Winter's King says, hello Ace, how's it going? And who's our guest? Our guest today is Nico 40K.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Hello there.
Alright, let's continue the comments. I'm trying to figure out where... Goof says, Master Sith Corn Pop. He was a bad dude. Winter's King says, he had a voice like a Yellow Flash has.
Really? I don't think I sound like that.
Paul Schluck says, the light shines. Creek says, if I heard something that cringe over the comms, I'd consider a fragging. High Republic is so lame. Rule 34 is essentially barren. Siege says, we're on the right side of history. Ignore those screaming children for light and life. Yeah.
Oh.
Abhishek Verma says, those are there sexy lesbians in this.
Dude, I wish.
Lesbians, yes. Sexy, no.
It would liven it the fuck up.
Goof says, use force forehead. Abhishek says, lesbians with big boings. Krieg says, if this was a video game, I'd be shouting at these idiots for clogging up the comms. Solon donates 100 ARS to say, so Star Wars, the highly repulsive classifies as Lovecraftian horror now. It's okay to create sci-fi content with concepts as the Force then. Clicks tongue. Nice. Alright, let the pain continue. Where were we?
It's a flying droid with no hand.
WTF. Goof says, Jedi Master Bates.
Classic.
Abhishek Verma says, is there Rule 34 in Star Wars universe and how diverse would it be? You know,
Legends, yes. Let's just say Legends alone is well covered.
Krieg says, I mean, Twi'leks are probably cheaper than a HoloNet subscription. Abhishek says, how many tags would be in the Star Wars universe? Paul Shuck says he's got his Infinity Gauntlet. Yep.
Yeah.
Krieg says, oh my god, he is British. Yes, he is. Winter's King says, just a reminder that if the Sith needed to leave their artifacts alone, they specifically entrusted super force resistant species with that job, not other force sensitive who may become unstable. Abhishek Verma says, to Krieg, you mean buying Twi'lek slaves? Winter's King says, we're influenced. Siegework says, false accusations. Sounds leftist to me. The woke mind virus is coming. Paul Schlock says Cthulhu cameo. Abhishek says Star Wars turned Lovecraftian. Winters King says literally Cthulhu. Siege says Cthulhu monster WTF. Goof says oh Cthulhu. Craig says hook Lovecraft's corpse up to a generator now. Hook. Abhishek Varma says I mean Star Wars has hyperdrive space whales. Yeah.
Like, the whole hyperspace whales is stupid enough. I've always felt they were. So the whole, like, Lovecraftian monsters isn't that much better.
Winters King says Star Wars already had eldritch horrors of its own, didn't need to steal from Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Mateus Felipe says it's looking good, Bat Cthulhu. Greek says, did we just speedrun this? We run this. Ha. Winters King says, oh no, the weakness of all Black Jedi, H.P. Lovecraft's race system. Don't ask about the name of Lovecraft's cat, guys. You're not going to like the answer.
It is the world's most underrated superhero. That's all I will say.
I mean, if you think about it, the original word that shall not be named is an old Roman Latin word that stands for black man. So in a way, Lovecraft names his cat Black Man Man.
When you yeah.
Ugh. Paul Schlock says, don't Minox flap their wings in space? I don't know. I'd have to look. Goof says, ironically, this is probably the best panel too. Yeah, sadly so. John Doe says, every doorknob tastes different. Abhishek says, the Force creates air around the wings. Don't you know, bigot?
Mm-hmm.
John Doe says, I ride the shortest bus. Krieg says, this looks like something Lovecraft would write in on to explain the difference between a racist and a super racist. See,
there's a difference. There's a difference between a Super Saiyan and a god, right? We don't need to... And Lovecraft is the... All right.
She says, well, that was rather dumb. Varma says, do the Space Wingers also have H.P. Lovecraft's racism? Well, considering what they're doing to the Force users...
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're onto something. Because all these things have to do is exist, and Force users lose their fucking minds. Paul Shark says they should add Lovecraft's cat to the next issue. Solon says the inside of the Force.
Now, do they have the pass? That's a good question.
These things, well... Probably not. But that's probably not going to stop them either.
No. Every slithering tentacle, it's just another variation of the word.
Oh no. I Galactic Civil War. Oh, Creek says, hey, Nico, what's your favorite era? Star Wars, like Galactic Civil War, Clone Wars, Old Republic, etc.
Go ahead.
I kind of like the prequel era for what it's worth, at least in terms... Mm-hmm. Once you add in the additional lore stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, I grew up on the prequels. I have a love for them, even though I don't think they're necessarily that good. As for favorite era, though, that's interesting because I really enjoy the Old Republic era, especially the later half of it when the Rule of Two gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
That is a favorite of mine. I mean, I need to play through KOTOR because I know like the principle of the storyline, but I don't know like the whole the depth within. Like I have to do a full playthrough of it, and I know that's going to be rewarding. So yeah, well, it's more rewarding than these freaking books.
Abhishek says, I will be waiting when Star Wars gets its own hentai representation. I mean, they already have a manga.
Who's to say they don't? Who's to say they haven't already?
Whereas King says, I didn't mean to spawn that many jokes, lol. Paul Schluck says, Age of Resistance, obviously.
Okay.
Krieg says, I think the Clone Wars and Clone Wars TCW fans 2008 kind of mess with my love for the prequel era. I prefer Galactic Civil War Warlord era. Understandable. Whereas King says there is nothing official. There's a lot of AI, I guess. Okay. Well, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Yeah, I think so as well. If nothing else, I mean, hey, the comments alone. But yeah, this is. It'll be interesting to see the next issue because we're going full Lovecraftian hentai. Now, will they commit? Who knows?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and call it, I guess. So, Nico, it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's always a pleasure being on. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on, and we both hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care. Ace out. So I forgot something really quick, and I do mean to actually address it real quick. Thank you once again to Solon the Lich for donating. Seriously, everyone that donates is doing the channel a massive favor. So I forgot something really quick, and I do mean... Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention before I went. So there we go. So yeah, this has been Ace.
This has been Nico40K.
And we both hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care.